Here comes Skookum the Schoolie. Okay, we've brought Skookum the Schoolie over to start working on him and get him all ready for the big journey.
Good.
Here we are, it is May 9th, 2025, and we're getting ready to hit the road up to Alaska again. This will be our third time driving Skookum the Schoolie up there. And of course, Pookie, the one-eyed warrior, will be riding along with us. So we're deeply into preparations. We are also going to be taking Shadow the tiny trailer again this year. So you may remember that when we came back with Shadow the tiny trailer last time, we had a little problem at the border because it didn't have a VIN. So we took care of that. Shadow is completely street legal now. So we're trying to pre-anticipate any possible snags at the border. Pookie is having her wellness check on Monday. And yeah, we should be all good to go. We got an appointment to get the tires checked and rotated and all that too. So this is what's going on. Getting ready. And I wanted to make a recap video of the previous seasons. So the video you are about to see, if you stay with me through this process, will be a nice little recap of the first, second, and third summer that we've been up there working on the property. And I hope you enjoy it. Today's the day. 2 musicians and a one-eyed cat hit the road. And hit the road we did, full of enthusiasm and ready for the adventure. Since we're both musicians and the bulk of our incomes came from performing, the pandemic had beat us up pretty badly financially, and our dream of buying a property in Oregon was over. It just wasn't going to happen. So between that and the raging drought and devastating fire seasons happening on the West Coast, it felt like the right time to go north and start building a cabin home of our own on my family property on the little lake in the woods where I was raised. This video will give you a look at where we started and the progress that's been made on the property since. Our first experience driving the bus up the Alcan went off without a hitch, and we made it to Talkeetna about a week later, safe and sound and ready to figure out what would come next. So the plan is that once we do get up there to the lake, we're going to assess our options as far as where and how to start making our own space and cabin up there. And we have 2 options to decide on. One is that just down the trail from our big family cabin, there's an old cabin that was built originally for our mom many years ago and has since pretty much collapsed. It needs quite a lot of work to rebuild it, renovate it, and make it livable. So we're going to check that out and see if that would be the better option. Or on the other side of the family cabin, there's a really nice site that we've always thought about would be a really nice spot for another cabin. So we might just start fresh on that site. But we won't know till we get up there and look at things and see how much work it's going to take to fix the other cabin, the falling down one, or if we'd be better off just starting fresh. So, after some minor setbacks and complications like waiting for the trail to clear up and getting a usable ATV together, we made it up to the lake to assess the situation and decide how to proceed. Down from the big family cabin, we are approaching the back of the cabin that needs repair. So we are about to have our moment of truth on this place and see what kind of a fixer-upper we're talking about. So here she blows. The little cabin was in a pretty desperate state of disrepair, and the property had, in general, never really been cleaned up to start with. The good news is that the back and front walls were still solid, and the roof had been partially fixed a few years prior. Plus, John and Billy had saved the foundation at least to the point where it kept the whole structure from completely collapsing. We decided it would be way quicker and less expensive to finish rebuilding this one than to start from scratch. So the reality is, this cabin, even though it looks like a real fixer-upper at this point, would be a lot quicker. If we take on this project, we're going to have a lot of help, a lot of family involvement, and it'll be just a lot easier than starting from scratch and a lot cheaper because most of it's already here. And we got a nice site over there. We'll set up our big wall tent over there, clear out some of these trees here, and we'll have a beautiful lakeside view. And I think that's what we should do. It seems like it seems doable. I know it looks rough, but we're going to make this work. The first thing to get going on was clearing out some of the brush between the cabin and the lake and clearing out the space for the wall tent platform. Ooh. Jack had to go back to Oregon for a few weeks that summer, so John and I got going on those first steps. I'm pretty pleased. You can see that a lot of difference was made in a very little time. It was satisfying to see the progress happening even on that very first day. Got the tent platform area cleared out. Did a lot of clearing between the cabin and the lake, so we could actually see the lake already. Yeah, baby. This is how a homestead becomes reality. How the dream of a homestead becomes a reality of a homestead. And I took this whole process for granted when I was a kid, because I was a kid, and it was all I knew. It didn't seem unusual to me. Just taking out all these dead spruce is going to make a huge difference. I mean, just imagine all those dead spruce out of there, and all the stuff we're going to make out of those dead spruce. Build a dock, might be some stuff that we use for the tent platform. When Jack got back, he started doing some serious tree felling. The spruce beetle blight had left masses of standing dead spruce that was not only unsightly, but also a huge fire hazard.
1, 2, cha-cha-cha.
Plus, we knew we could use some of those trees for our building projects, the first one being the tent platform. Okay, the first thing we're going to focus on is picking the lumber, the actual pieces of lumber that we're going to use for the tent platform, because we have a pile of lumber. When we first got up here and there was that pile of lumber behind the cabin here, that was just the beginning. It turns out that that guy who milled that lumber with John is moving out of state. So he had a whole bunch of it to sell, and we snapped it up so that we have lots of it. So first we'll go through this little pile of what's left here and pick out whatever planks work for that. And then we'll know how many we need to go down to the big cabin to get, because the rest of it is down at John's cabin. So that was our main objective for that summer. Build a good tent platform, get the wall tent up, and stay up there for a few weeks, getting things cleaned up and staged for the following summer. The nailing has begun. Woohoo! Seemed like it took forever, but we did it. It was a proud moment when that tent went up and our vision started coming to life. The tent has arrived at its final destination. We are so excited. Okay, we just had our first lunch in our tent, and this is a big moment for us because it's taken so much work, so much planning. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. We're old. And I hope that us doing this and showing the world what we're doing at our age inspires other people our age, because it's really easy to start thinking that you're too old to do this, too old to do that. As long as you can still move, you can accomplish something. Time goes so fast that you just gotta jump on it. You gotta do. You gotta stop dreaming and you gotta start doing if you're gonna do it. And you know, we've never built anything before. You think, well, tent platform, big deal. But it was a big deal because we don't know how to do this stuff. So we're old and inexperienced, but determined and feisty. So the three of us settled into our wall tent palace for a few weeks, and we worked out the basics of off-grid living. Much to our relief, Pookie loved it up there and quickly earned her new title, Shrew Slayer. Flash forward to the next summer, 2023. We are excited to get up there in early June and hit the ground running. All right, our driveway. Looking pretty slick. Jasmine and Uncas are following. Yeah. All right, guys. There's the homestead, new and improved. Check that out. Over the winter, my brother-in-law, Billy, took a crew up there, and they and John made significant progress on the basic structural issues of the cabin itself. Wowee. Okay, let's walk around and check it out. Oh, yeah. All right. Big moment. Let's go inside. See what we got going on in here. Wowsy dowsy. Holy moly, look at this. We got a roof. We got a subfloor. Oh yeah. We got a closed-in space here now, which is great because if the bear activity is outrageous, and we have house guests. Hello. Come in, come in.
Oh my God, look at it here. Wow.
Fantastic.
And there's another, it's insulated underneath.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh. It's exciting.
We got the tent up fairly quickly and settled in for a summer of making progress on our two main objectives for that year: build an outhouse and a good dock. I'd of course continue to clear out and clean up the whole property in the process. First priority was, of course, the outhouse for obvious reasons. Jack has begun the official groundbreaking of the outhouse. this is where we're at as we break for lunch today. It's coming along. We've been working hard at making mistakes and redoing them. We're going about this project with all the expertise of two 10-year-olds building a tree fort. That's right. We've decided that our outhouse building company will be called Skookum Poopers. Skookum Poopers by B and Jack. So we fumbled through that process and came out with a very big, unique structure that could function as more than just a bathroom facility because of its hugeness. It was time then to build the dock, woohoo! Which seemed like it would be much easier than the outhouse.
Oh, they look great, honey. Well done.
We were fortunate in that the brutally rainy weather and mosquitoes that we had battled all summer up to that point relented a bit, and we actually got some sunny weather just in time. All right, we wrestled with the roots. There was a tree under there. We've been mud wrestling for the last bit. We got it pretty leveled out here because we want where the blocks are going to go, like here at the edge, and then the ends of the logs are going to come inland a little bit, so we needed to kind of clear that out. And yeah, Jack's going to start bringing down the pier blocks. We'll get these ones placed, and then we're going to get on to the really exciting part. This mud is amazing though. I mean, this is first class squishy stuff.
Oh, you son of a gun. I know this is a kid show. All right, which side first?
I don't care, you pick.
Right in the muck?
All right. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Little swim while I'm out here. All right. This is pretty exciting. The planks are being nailed down. We managed to finish a dock that we were obscenely proud of, and it felt like heaven on earth to me. One of my favorite things in the whole world has always been sitting on the end of the dock, or sitting on the dock anywhere. And just staring at the lake, feeling it. You're so connected when you're right on it like this. So having this dock done is really huge. It's huge for me. I mean, you can see why. It's just beautiful. In all the years that we've been up here, I don't think anyone has ever built a good dock. Until now, that is. So I'm very thrilled about that, too. I think this is the best dock this lake has ever seen. That's a pretty sexy log oil, huh? The dry weather held just long enough for us to get a goodly portion of the cabin log oiled in our last couple of days there, too.
Oh, the last of the mosquitoes right here.
And then, just when it was time to start packing up to go back to Oregon, the weather turned again, and how? Constant, unrelenting torrential rains were causing flooding, and we had a hell of a time trying to get packed up and moved out so we could hit the road back to Oregon. It's August 28th. It's a miserable rainy day. We came out on Friday. We moved Pookie out. We did a gig with the Dharma Bums at Mountain High Friday night, and then our plan was to come up Saturday, or go up Saturday to, pack up, and we were hoping to be done by now. But anyway, it was raining so hard Saturday, and we had a gig also on Sunday, so we said, okay, let's lay low Saturday. Talkeetna is flooding. It's just been, once again, torrential rains, and today we gotta just suck it up and go up there. Apparently there's a river across part of the trail, so we may be going through some pretty deep water today. Hopefully that'll work out okay. Anyway, yeah, it's pouring, and we're just going to put on our rain gear and get up there, get as much packing up and putting away done as possible, and then hopefully we'll get it to a point that tomorrow we'll just go up and tear down the tent and grab the Blue Eddy, and those will be the last two things we bring down. But, yeah, we're not going to get a break in the weather. There's no waiting for a break in the weather here, or we'll just be here for the winter. That's not an option. All right, we're wrapped up like little ducklings for this incredibly, incredibly wet ride. Like I said, there's a river across part of the trail as of yesterday. We're hoping that's dried up a bit. Yeah, aren't we cute? Little quack, quack, duck, ducks.
Rocky.
Here we go. We could actually canoe through this. Oh my goodness, look at this. Good thing we're in a tank. Oh dear. Oh, this is nuts. Holy moly. Never gone through water like this on an ATV before. Jesus. This is Alaska kicking us in the ass as we try to get out the door. Okay, well, we made it through all the mud wallows, but that was definitely the wettest ride that we've had. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know. This is just crazy. Could it be any more unpleasant? I better not say that. The entire trail was a mess, but the worst and scariest part was near the bridge to town, where the river had risen to the point where that section was totally underwater, and we couldn't tell how deep it was until we were going through it. We also had no idea if it was getting worse while we were up there packing up, and we were worried about getting through the deep parts with a loaded wagon. like this. Holy shoot. Woo. Woo. Oh my God. It's very deep. Oh my God, good job, honey, you made it. But once again, we made it out and back to Oregon safe and sound for another winter. Woo. Now flash forward to the next summer of 2024. Jack had too many commitments in Oregon to go up with me, so I left Pookie with him and flew up by myself to accomplish whatever I could up there alone. Billy had again gone up and fixed the other side of the roof, so this time I would stay in the cabin and make the best of the situation, making it as comfortable as I could for myself. Okay, so everything's kind of a big mess right now. What I want to do, I'm going to move all the insulation and all that stuff over there to the dark corner, because I'm not going to want to hang out in that corner. I want to move the dining room table over here in the lightest spot, so it's by this window and I can sit at the table and look out the window. I'll set up my bed and everything here. And yeah, just man, a lot to do. So I'll check back in from time to time as I make progress, and we'll see how this day goes. Everything you do up here feels like 1 step forward, 3 steps back. 1 step forward, 3 steps back. So I gotta just go forward again. It actually felt pretty homey with not too much effort, and I settled in nicely. Ah, my home. My little home. Isn't that nice? That feels good. I like that. Since I had left Pookie with Jack, I couldn't stay all summer, so my plan was to at least get the cabin caulked and anything else I had the time and strength to do alone. I also had to get comfortable with driving the ATV we call Monster and doing a lot of things for myself that I hadn't done before. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought. Check that again. Pretty badass, you know. I actually had a lot of anxiety about coming up here without Jack. You know, you kind of depend on your big strong man partner to do stuff, and you know, there's a saying in Alaska about Alaska that I love, and it's this: Alaska, where the men are men and the women are too. And that's how I feel today. I feel like I'm unstoppable. It was an incredible growing experience, and in between the various challenges, I drank in the beauty and the tranquility of this place that I love so very much. I missed Jack and Pookie, but had the frequent company of Chewy and the swans. And of course, my furry nemesis, Newman, the annoying squirrel. It's a complicated relationship. You have officially been evicted. I don't care if you still have a stack of crackers on the rafters. Yeah, and what else? First order of business was for me to start plugging up all the holes and spaces with backer rod in preparation for applying the caulking. Of course, I didn't think of getting an actual trowel or anything like that, so I'm gonna do what I can with what I got. I got a knife and I got this thing. Oh, it's so nice to see these holes disappear. Yes, I love this stuff. When we built our first cabins up here, what we used was moss to stick between the logs, which of course didn't work that great. Eventually it dried up and would fall out. But it was my job as a little 6-year-old, and my sister too. We would go out and just collect great big bags of moss. I remember that was fun. I enjoyed it. Big, spongy, lush moss. Just bring it in big old bags. Wow, look at this. Woohoo! I'm liking this. Okay. Look at that. No more daylight through that. Oh, it feels good. Okay, the excursion is about to begin. I have my trusty assistant, Nina, and my sister is filming this, so you can see us drive away. Isn't that fun? It's a beautiful day. We're headed to the lake. We're gonna have more fun than should be legal. All right, here we go. I was lucky and happy to have the company and assistance of my dear old friend Nina for a few days in July, and together we started the arduous process of caulking. It was a lot harder than I expected. This is the hard part. The bulk loading caulking gun was especially challenging. I was thinking this part might be really hard and require a lot of strength.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so right.
Sucking it up
Yeah.
hard.
I was thinking, boy, this stuff's so stiff. It's gonna really take some strength. This is why most people use the convenient little tubes.
Right. Preloaded.
Preloaded, and you don't have to deal with this kind of mess. I should have bought the follow plate. Okay. Woo, baby. Okay, ooh, this one seems to have loaded really good. Wilderness Express! Ha! This is the Wilderness Express right here, y'all! After Nina left and I was going it alone again, I opted to take my sister's advice and spoon feed the gun, which was tedious but much easier. Start spoon feeding the baby here. Oh, here comes the choo-choo. Woo woo! Just like baby poop. This stuff is just like baby poop. Ugh. Well, this is kind of exciting. I think this is going to be maybe the last gun fill here. And I think I'm going to have just enough to finish the space that I'm working on. So I will have gotten 2 of the inside strips completely done. By the time I hit the end of the bucket of caulk, I was also hitting the end of my stay for the summer. But I'll tell you, it was really hard to leave when there was so much of summer left. Today is Thursday, August 1st. You can already feel fall in the air. It's amazing. It was really chilly yesterday morning, and then again this morning. I mean, I could see my breath. So, pretty soon this cabin will not be livable with just that little heater anyway. And yeah, I've only got a few more days left before I head back down to Oregon. It's going to be hard to adjust, and I'm going to be probably mostly feral by the time I get back too, for having spent so much time alone in the wilderness this summer. And to make it harder, my last night up there was absolutely heavenly. The weather was perfect. The tranquility was absolute and indescribable. You really had to be there. It's such an incredibly beautiful evening. I'm just kind of puttering around and organizing stuff out here tonight. I want to be out here. Some of the stuff I meant to deal with and take out, I did not get to this year. But oh, I hear Newman. But it was time to go. This is the hard part. It's always so hard to leave. Okay. Nothing to it but to do it. I packed up and put away all that I could, said goodbye to my buddy Chewy, and sadly headed out. It's actually hot today. I mean, relatively speaking. And I hear John's generator stopped. He's about to come down, and we are about to leave. Bye, loons. Gotta get my boots on. Alrighty, one more look around. Just about to hit the trail. Yeah, let's take a look around outside. So we have an up-to-date little memoir of where we're at here. Here comes John. All right, last time. Goodbye, Lake. I love you. So now it is May 2025, and we are getting ready to hit the highway again, back to Alaska for another round of adventure and who knows what. I have a feeling it's going to be an extraordinary summer, so thanks for coming along, and I think you'll be glad you did. Nothing to it but to do it. Let's go.